What I have here with me are a couple of hybrid IEMs from the house of KZ. The first one is CCA HYDRO, priced at $120. It houses 10 drivers in each earpiece, 8 BA drivers and 2 dynamic drivers. It is their flagship hybrid IEM at this point of time. They haven't launched anything that succeeds this. On the other hand, I have the KZ ZS12 Pro X. Now, this one houses 6 drivers in each earpiece and is one of the best IEMs to get around $50. High quality sound quality for the asking price, and it houses, as I said, 6 drivers in each earpiece. This one has metal build quality all around and is slightly heavier and slightly more concentrated, while the CCA Hydro has a plastic inner plate and the back plate is metal. This one has switches. You cannot buy the Hydro without the switches, so switches are compulsory if you are buying the Hydro. But if you are buying the ZS12 Pro X, I'll suggest you not to go for the switch version, because the switch version might have some issues in them. If we start talking about the accessories, none of this come with any carrying solution, and the cables are just average. This cable is just horrible, while the stock CCA Hydro cable is slightly more supple. You guys can see it is more supple and is slightly less memory prone, while this cable is just horrible. You can definitely change the cable. I usually suggest the Tripoven RT cable for best performance with the ZS12 Pro X, but CCA Hydro can use with a slightly more warmer and fuller sounding cable too, like File Hibiscus. And if we start talking about the sizes, let's have a look at the size of these two IEMs. Hydro is bigger, no questions about that. Hydro is much bigger, even though both are kind of similar, but I feel that this one is ZS12 Pro X is slightly heavier than the Hydro. Both have similar depth. You guys can see both have similar depth, but because of its slightly more rounded inner shell, ZS12 Pro X is slightly more comfortable inside the ear, and because of this edgy design of the Hydro, it is slightly less comfortable. Both are decent when it comes to fitting and stuff. I do find the ZS12 Pro X to be better in that regard. This one is slightly, as I said, slightly uncomfortable because of this edgy design. If we start talking about the sound quality, these two are V-shaped IEMs. Okay, keeps no doubts about that. These two are V-shaped IEMs, and they offer very good treble. On general basis, they offer very good treble, but everything else is different. Okay, even though Hydro has two dynamic drivers for the lower end. It does feel like it has two dynamic drivers for the lower end, but it does not. The 7mm DD is for the lower end, while the 8mm DD is for the full range usage. So this does not use the dual dynamic driver setup for the lower end, and it kind of lacks a bit of sub bass extension. It is tighter with the decay. You can say it is more cleaner, but it does not have that punchy or full feeling to it. It kind of feels like it is trying to be restricted. Okay, it is not that open sounding, that free flowing. It has decent layered delivery and good dynamics, slightly better dynamics than ZS12 Pro X, but the ZS12 Pro X is a lot more fun. It is more fuller, has better sub bass extension, and sounds very good when it comes to layered delivery and texture too. Texture is where the ZS12 Pro X is better than the Hydro. This one is more complete IEM. When it comes to the lower end, it sounds a bit more fun, fuller, meatier and punchier. It moves a bit more air too, while this one feels like it is slightly restricted when it comes to movement of air. If we start talking about the mid-range, that is where the bigger problem arises for the Hydro. Hydro does not have any dedicated mid-range drivers, and that is a definitive drawback for a IEM that is placed over the ZS12 Pro X that has dedicated BA drivers for the mid-range. This one has a full range 8mm dynamic driver that handles the mid-range, which kind of messes the balance up for the Hydro. It kind of lacks the resolution. It does not have that kind of definition. Yes, the macro details are good with the Hydro, but the micro details are badly missing. It does not have that kind of tonality either. It can feel slightly thin and slightly unnatural, slightly plasticky even. So it is not great when it comes to mid-range. It does not have the details. The tonality and timbre are not great either. So this mid-range is not good enough, while the ZS12 Pro X has a very good mid-range. It has dedicated drivers. What it has is taller notes, while this one is lacking height with the notes. This one has taller, cleaner, more transparent, more resolving, more detailed notes. It sounds very good. It does not sound as thin or as lifeless as the Hydro. This one is a lot more natural. I will not say it is very organic or anything like that, but it is a better performer for sure with both vocals and instruments. Vocals are very good. It has good texture. This one is not textured enough, while this one is nicely textured and sounds very good with the vocals too. Instruments around the vocals are slightly less forward, but they have better transparency and clarity with the ZS12 Pro X, while the mid-range instruments with the Hydro are kind of suppressed. They do not have that kind of clarity. They kind of feel like there is no resolution or transparency or height to them. It kind of feels like it's a bit messed up. If we talk about the treble range, that is where the Hydro pulls ahead, and I have no issues in saying that Hydro is the best IEM you can get for treble clarity under $150. It just is simply outstanding. It has 8 BA drivers for the highs, and they perform like they are there. They have excellent agility, excellent air between instruments, and the extension is superb. They have very good clarity, very good definition, very good transparency, and the cue placements are very good too. It is the best IEM for treble. So what about the ZS12 Pro X? As I said in the beginning, that both are very good with the treble. ZS12 Pro X is not lacking with the clarity or anything like that, but it doesn't have the extra bit of treble extension of the Hydro. Hydro is a lot more extended, has better energy in the upper treble region, while this one is slightly less transparent, slightly less forward in the upper treble region. Yet it has good air between instruments. It's not very airy, but it has very good amount of air between instruments. Not as much as the Hydro, but Hydro can feel slightly thinner, slightly tighter with the notes presentation. Both are strangely both are very similar when it comes to staging. What's different is that Hydro has slightly bigger stage, but this one has a better presentation. What happens with the Hydro is that it does not have a presentation where it places the instruments in front of the listener. What it does is it has a more stereo-like presentation where most of the instruments start in this angle and they move backward. They start in this angle and they move backward. So it is slightly lacking with the presentation up front, while the ZS12 Pro X can place some instruments up front and it feels like it has a more surrounding kind of presentation. So that is where the KZ ZS12 Pro X is better. But Hydro has slightly bigger stage. I cannot deny that because of its treble capabilities. It has a bit more bigger stage. So which one should you pick? This one is $120, this one is priced at $50. I do not see the reason one should spend the extra money on the CCA Hydro, because the ZS12 Pro X is very good, and if you have the cash you can get the RT cable and extract the best performance out of the ZS12 Pro X, which can easily take on the CCA Hydro without any issues. Okay, so this is my comparison of KZ CCA Hydro and KZ ZS12 Pro X. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Enjoy.